Hello and welcome, my brothers. We plan to discuss a new topic today. I hope you guys are well. I have been very well and I thank God. And on the previous discussion in Law 1, the first law of the 48 laws of power, where we were discussing about do not outshine your master or never outshine the master. Something arose at the end of the video, and Isaiah was saying that the ultimate goal of life is death. And that was mesmerizing because it's a big discussion. Amos called the shots for a wider discussion on this, and I think we have to discuss this now today. So, how are you guys? How are you, Amos? And are you ready for this today?
Yeah, I'm doing great and I'm very ready for this interesting discussion. I want to see how Isa, what he thought by saying that the ultimate goal of life is death. Yeah,
Yes. How about you, Isaiah? Are you ready to tell us why you said such, and do you have your reasons?
How are you once again? I hope you're well. I hope almost everything is doing well okay with in your life.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm very ready. In fact, I'm very ready. We should begin.
You're saying like the late Kajuang. Are you ready for
Mm.
Tuesday? We are very ready for Tuesday.
Very ready.
Yeah, so I think this is a wide discussion because such words are very strong to use. First of all, when you say the ultimate goal of life is death, it means there is no meaning of life. I don't know. I think somehow some people will interpret it differently. Some people will think, why live then if you're just here to die anyway? So
That's
I
the
think that's why
beauty.
it's a yeah, that's why it's a very, very important discussion. So we shall start first of all by trying to unveil what we mean by, some people don't understand what is the meaning of their lives and why there is death and everything. So, according to you, Amos, what do you think is the meaning of life and how do you describe life according to you?
yo, thank you for the question. Okay,
Mm.
according to my understanding and my experience so far in this world, I believe that life is all about living one's full potential, achieving their
Yes.
goal, and ultimately achieving the purpose that the Almighty Creator, God, you know, set for us. Yeah, that's what I believe it's life for me.
So you believe there is a God.
Yeah, not necessarily God, but I believe in a supernatural being that is above and it's controlling all what we are doing here down on earth. Yeah, that's what I believe.
Yeah. People believe in different things, but do you know that belief is a doubt? It's either you know or something that you believe is a doubt. It's something that
But
you're not sure about.
believing in the existence of God is a good doubt. Yeah, it's a good guess, which we should make. It's a good guess, in my opinion.
Okay, so you believe you don't know.
Okay, I feel like I say I know because of what has happened in my life and instances, like sometimes your life might be taking some upside down trajectory. Then all of a sudden, when sometimes I go on my knees and pray to the God, then I do feel better. And in the end, eventually things turn out to be not the way I expected at the times, but sometimes better. So I believe and I trust that there is a God.
Okay, so are you Christian?
I'm a, yeah, I'm a devoted Christian. And I can say that I have a personal relationship with God that in most cases it does not involve the church. But yeah, I'm a Christian.
Okay, you know, I had someone say that religion and knowing God are two different things because even human beings came before religion anyway. So there's a difference between knowing and believing. People, I think a lot of people are coached to believe by religions anyway, because religions have different kind of gods. Each religion has their own doctrines. So they make you, or they preach believe. They don't preach know, but they teach believe. So if I think there is a very big difference between believing and knowing. And if you want to know something, you must have a personal relationship with that thing, including God Himself. And to know God is your personal description and your personal experiences, both in good and bad. So, what about you, Isaiah? Do you, what is your definition of life? And yeah, just a brief description of life.
Thank you, God. I thank you also for your definition. It was comprehensive. I think to me, what I believe about life, it's that period you're born, and when you now get the purpose of what maybe mostly you're doing this world, that's life. But in a traditional way, it's just like the when you're able to just being able to breathe, and that dispense purpose in this side.
Okay, so according to you, life begins when you start breathing.
Yeah, that is the first thing. Breathing without breathing first is not like. But at
Okay,
some points, there are those
Yeah.
who are in coma, but they are not alive. So I also added purpose, or you're
okay,
living intentionally, knowing what you want. You see, that's now how I believe it. My
o-
definition.
okay. So people who are insane are not alive.
To me, they are not alive. They don't know what they. It's true.
Yeah,
Have you ever
yeah,
seen where I live?
yeah,
In the at the bottom of the bridge at bypass
yes.
here, there is a madman who always lives there, always lights fire. They give him now these catch or some people in Kenya we call it mira. So the
Yeah.
guy, what is the guy living to achieve? Nothing. You
So
see him daily. He's naked and it's raining. Do you think he's alive?
I don't know. Never know
he's
because
he's
it's a
not
very big
he's not
question.
alive.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to add on what Isa said, which is very true. But
Yeah.
I believe that life is not all about our purpose, you know. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
all about our creators or God purpose. Maybe God put that madman or mad woman in that bridge for a purpose. Like he's playing something or is playing a part in a bigger plan. So I beg to differ with Isa. I can say that even insane people have life. It's just that, okay, they might not be living their own life, but I
Yeah.
believe that they have a bigger part or they are playing something huge in what eventually God wants in one's life.
Okay. So according to you, Amos, when you're created or when you start breathing, you are alive.
Yeah, when you start breathing, and now when you start accomplishing your own purpose and your creator's purpose, that's when you can say you are alive or you are living.
Okay, that's interesting. According to Isaiah, people who are in a coma, people who cannot think clearly, and insane people generally, they are not living, they are dead. So that's a very strong point there because there are some people who have their family members at a coma, and they still believe these people are alive. They don't want them to lose their final breath. Some people think life ends when you're put under the soil, 6 feet under. So, Isaiah, how can you support what you're saying? Like, why is it that when you don't have a purpose, you are dead? How?
When you literally do that, I can attest to that according to my own experiences.
Yeah.
Is at some point when I was still a teenage, I'd say, let me say I was just a teen after high school. When I joined university, I was just literally every day I was just there. There's no day that went with me realizing tomorrow is another day. For me, the other day was also we were just going maybe to drink. That's all. You sleep, drink. There's nothing going on in my life. At some point, I was okay with dying because there was nothing I was doing. Every day was similar to the day. It was like today is just a day. It's just like something. Every day when I woke up, I just thought, today it's just like yesterday. We're just going to drink again. There's nothing I'm doing. You at some point you become bored with whatever you are doing. That's what I'm saying. Now when you get something to do, like right now there are things I'm doing. I'm just enjoying myself, and I don't have much financially, but I just feel fulfilled, and I want to see the next day. That's why
Okay.
I say it that way. Mm.
Okay, I get your point. In your own definition, you believe that
Yeah,
when you are at a
and I
point
think
of, yeah, sorry.
yeah, thank you. I think many people share that. That's why you will find most people that are depressed. They kill themselves because they are not alive. To them, they are. It's the sequences are not. The patterns are not making sense. It's like they are already dead.
Okay, they are
You know,
better off
it's
dead.
it's not that because you are breathing. That does not mean you are alive.
Okay. So according to you, the only thing that drives you to life is goals and purpose.
Yes, you
Other
should
than
have
that,
purpose.
you are just existing. You are just existing, but you're better off dead.
You are like a sealer. Amos knows in fertilizer, where he has done agriculture at some point in high school. In fertilizer, there is that part that just fills up now. It doesn't have nutrients. So those who don't have purpose, they are just happy. You just see them. They're just looking like zombies.
Okay.
But
All
then
right.
you see, how can you say
Yeah.
that a zombie is alive? Is a zombie alive?
Actually, those I believe those are fictions, first of all, because zombies
Zachary,
are always passed shot to death,
and they
then
wake
they
up.
rise from there.
You see, that's
Yeah.
what I'm telling you. Without purpose now,
You
yeah,
know,
it's
God,
become a zombie.
Yeah.
God, what Isaiah is saying is actually very true. But
Yeah.
that is on, like I said, that is on a personal level. You know, like for
Yeah.
me, I don't have goals when I don't have purpose. Like I feel like my dreams are shattered, and to me, it can be like I'm somehow dead. Even to
Yeah.
some people, losing hope. For instance, let me take an example in the past where some Kenyans youth, lost hope in our government. To some, we can define that as death, but that is a personal on a personal level. And
Okay.
I thank you because you started this podcast with asking about the existence of God, blah blah blah, and what. So to me, I believe that it's not all about my purpose or my goals. For instance, this year, let's say next year, if let's say I have 3 goals, maybe to marry, to buy a car, and maybe to have a promotion. On a personal level, those are good goals. Those ambition can really drive me to be a better person. But
Yeah.
as I said, yeah, we are something smaller in God's bigger plan. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine that maybe someone was just created to heartbreak you and to give you, like his purpose, according to God's wish, was to heartbreak you so that you can learn. Sometimes me, I
Yeah.
believe. So, like, okay, somebody okay, I don't believe like in only achieving your goals or your purpose, you can only be alive, but also accomplishing the Almighty's God purpose so that you can
Yeah.
fully now achieve your goals and achieve his goals so that you can say that you are alive. But what Isaiah said, it's very true, but that is on a personal level, like between me and my career, between me and my marriage, you know. But you can't say that is the whole definition of why we are alive.
Okay. And coming back to that discussion about God, in the book of Genesis, in the on the sixth day, God creates Adam. And then the Bible says he breathes life into him. So there's the body and then there's life. So according to me, life is more than just what you see. When the body
Completely.
dies, when the body dies, there's more to that than it's not, you are not dead. That's what I believe, first of all. I'm also a Christian. And by being a Christian, I mean, I believe there is a creator. And what makes sense the most to me is the Christian religion, where it explains everything and the goodwill and preaches love, mostly love and the good virtues. So other religions, of course, they do that and they have their own reasons for believing. But I believe all these religions are just the same, just that human beings are crafty in some way. They want to politicize everything and the rest. So, having said that, I believe life is not all about the, it's not about how you function, your body functions. It's not about your goals. It's not about what your beliefs or something. But I believe life is what is in you. Like, because God breathed, he breathed, he put a breath or he put life into Adam. The body was just a tool, let me say so. So apart from the body, there is now you, the spirit, you. That's what I believe. And if you can see, the Bible also says in the Holy Trinity, there was God, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So the spirit, I think, is the main thing about life, first of all. And then I wanted to ask you, Isaiah, you are talking about purpose. What do you mean by purpose and goals in life?
Thank you. Thank you. Purpose in life, it's like a light that guides you. You see, like you are guided, maybe whatever guides you, you are, because the ideologicals that guides you is religion, isn't it?
Maybe,
Because
but
I see
I told you,
mostly,
I'm a Christian, but
eh,
it's not about religions are many.
okay,
My personal
ah,
relationship with God is as unlike Amos, me, I know God. I know God because I don't believe, I know. That's why
okay.
I've told you all these religions, they are just the same thing. They have one God, but they try to politicize it in such a way that they divide themselves. And I think it's also God's purpose to do that because if we are united, something bad might happen. You never know.
Whatever you have said,
Yeah,
I agree with that. But whatever
yeah,
I was just trying to tell you that about the purpose. You
yeah,
know, as a person, you are known because of what you do. That's why you might find others, someone might ask you, who are you? There are these questions that people ask others, maybe in some functions. A person might ask you, who are you? Who do you think you are? That's because
yeah,
we relate according to what we are doing. And I find
yeah,
it hard for you to live on earth like 70 years, just sleeping, waking up, going to sunbathe, come back, sleep, go back. You'll just be bored. That's what I was just trying to mean.
yeah,
It will become very hard for you to be doing the things that you're doing when you're a kid. When you're a child, from maybe when you're born to 18, let us say even up to 25, life is different than when you have a family. Now you are no longer the epitome of life. You're just there to aid your family to do things. It's no longer about you. That's why you can die for your family. But before you had a family, there are some people cannot die for anything. Now you have a purpose. You see now that you live for that purpose.
Yeah.
And getting a purpose assists you to live your life now. There's life, but now for me, I think now for you to live, you have to have that purpose. There's no way you are existing in this earth without having any purpose.
Okay. All right. I agree with you to some level, but now purpose to you is when you have a reason to live, right?
Yeah.
And you have mentioned one of the reasons is maybe when you get a family.
Yeah. To
So
some.
let me ask you, are you yourself, are you not purpose enough for why you should be alive?
For me, I exist in many. There are many things that make me to become one. First of all,
Yeah.
there are some beliefs I have. For me, I'm not guided by religion, by the way, because while growing up, I practiced Christianity and then went to Islam a little bit, then came back to Christianity. So I saw these are just, I think the religion are there to shape the way we live so that we cannot become bad people or do harm others. Because, but when growing up, you can see it's already some people are using the same religion to manipulate others. That which is unfortunate. Not everybody is using it the same way. Some people are using it to at least better some people's lives. Me, I think mine is just guided with what I've seen, my experiences that I've seen in life, and I know this God because there are some things that have happened in my life I've never imagined they will done that way. But there are some things like Amos as I've already shared. There are some things that you will happen, and you just tell you might just sit down and reflect and say, maybe God planned it to happen that way. Because at some point I thought if I'd had money by 20, I would already be dead because of the reckless life I was living.
Okay. But
Mm.
sometimes it's controversial because the society has placed you in a place where you believe life is something that has been politicized. Most people talk about the matrix. There's a culture, a societal culture where you are expected to grow up, get a job, have a family, have big houses, have big cars. And I don't think all this is very important in life. If you are really alive, I don't think that's very important because in the end, the topic of this discussion is the ultimate goal of life is death. And now the funny thing is you chase all these things. You chase money, you chase family, you chase love, of which God has given free. God has given everything free. We cannot even deplete the resources that have been created in the world. That is why we have surplus and we produce more. That is why the ecosystem is very complete. Even if everyone stops working today and we go back
I,
to surviving, I
I
don't think
I
there will be
don't believe
depletion. Yeah.
I don't believe everything is free in this world.
As of
Maybe it
now,
was at some point.
yeah,
As of
as of
now,
now, because it has been politicized, some,
yeah, people are
there's,
controlling resources.
yeah. Otherwise, if everything is now, everyone now decides to drop down power, to drop down everything governing the society, and we all live equally without destruction. I always believe human beings have already decided to kill themselves. They fight for what is not necessary because you find someone like maybe like Hitler during the World War and Stalin and Truman. They set the world on fire, but themselves, where are they today? Their bodies are dead.
They
That's
achieved the
what I
goal.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's destruction. It's all about destruction. So, even if today everyone stops working, everyone stops using the internet, everyone stops all those things, and we go back to the ancient way of living, what was purpose for us, I believe we shall just have a peaceful existence and then the body will die. I don't believe you die naturally because I've never died, of course, but I don't believe when the body dies you are dead because even when you walk, you always know
Oh,
that you are not, that body is not you. You get what I mean?
you know, now you get me. You say the way you say that the body is in spirit and what? There is a time you can die in spirit and still be alive. There are some parts of you existing, but you're just a busy body. You're just moving around like an evil spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, God,
Yes.
I would
Yes, I
I
am.
would like to add something. Have you ever heard that saying that this person is living someone else's life? Like
Yeah.
in most cases, yeah, I know you have encountered just there is this family where the father or the mother takes out their children turns out to be. For
Yeah.
instance, you can get a situation where a father wants his firstborn to be a doctor, the second one to be an engineer, the other one to be a lawyer, and so on. So let's say this firstborn whose father has dictated him or her to be the doctor, you know, this person may end up living he may end up living his father's life because maybe in his heart, maybe the guy wanted to be a musician or an artist, But now the father, and because our culture in some way demands us to respect our elders and our parents, this might force this person to become a doctor, which in turn is not according to his will. So, yeah, I believe what Isaiah said earlier that you must have purpose to to be alive, but also I also concur with you when you say that your existence alone is you is the only is enough reason to live. So in some instances, I believe that while you are chasing some goals or some purpose, just make sure it is truly what you want and you are not living another person's life. Because I don't believe that death is the ultimate goal of life, because there are some people out here who are alive, but they are dead inside. Have you ever met someone who has lost hope, like in almost everything?
Yeah.
Yes, alive, but it's like he's dead. And also, in some point, have you ever met someone who maybe they lost their beloved one maybe some years ago, but they still believe that that person is still with them in maybe in spirit and so I don't agree with Isaiah that death is the ultimate life of goal, because to some people you can be still alive but dead inside, and to others you can be physically buried but your memories or your actions or whatever still have a greater impact on those who are alive. So we can as well say that you are still alive. Because, okay, let's say, let's use an example of in Kenya of somebody like Wangari Maathai. He's
Yeah.
dead, right?
Yeah.
Currently, he is dead. She's dead. But her action, her action has greater impact to our country than most of the people who are alive, even more than me, because what she did, being the first female professor in East Africa, it has motivated more
She had a
women.
purpose.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, she had a purpose, but now her purpose, though currently she is dead, it is fueling others people dreams. It's motivating others people to live completely full of their life
Yeah.
compared to someone's like me who is still alive. So yes, purpose and goal is good. Like if you don't have purpose or goals, you might well be as dead. But it comes back to death is not the ultimate goal of life.
It's the
Okay.
ultimate goal of life.
Okay. Now you guys are talking more of goal and purpose. Now, Isaiah mentioned that having a family is one of the purpose someone might live. Now, what is the most important purpose why you live? Now, you have said there is life. What is the main purpose you are living? What is the main goal of living,
You know,
Isaiah?
o-
Amos, you can
I
start.
already
No
told
problem.
you.
okay, let me first answer that. Okay,
Yeah.
that what you have said that maybe okay to some people maybe marriage is the goal. I can say that we can argue that marriage can be socially construct element,
Yeah.
because what if our forefathers, our ancestors didn't believe in marriage,
Yeah.
we might have ended up believing that even marriage is not, it's not that big thing to achieve. But because our forefathers believed in it, we have also believed in it that something like marriage or having a career. Like, who said that you must go to school, do you have a career, marry, have a child, then die? Like that's a boring life to me,
Yeah.
according to
Society.
me. Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
what society has made us to believe in. So to some point, I believe that you as a person, you should go beyond what the society believes in. Just try to explore and and see and go and see beyond marriage, beyond career, beyond having children. Just try to
Yeah,
explore.
goals.
You might be living, you might be living another. I don't tell people to divorce, but you know, he too, you nazaliwa, the right of that those right of life, birth,
Yeah.
Right as I said.
circumcision, marriage, like it can be boring. Try at least to live your life and not follow what others believe. I think you might to people, most people, they should follow in what they believe in and not in what the society or their parents believe in. Yeah,
So
that's what
Like you,
I
Amos, right now, what is the main goal and purpose why you're living right now?
Okay, on a personal level, my goal is to be happy. That's what I
Yeah.
believe in, personal level. But now, on a bigger part, I believe that God has a purpose for me, which to some time, to some extent, He has not reveal it to me. But eventually, my life will serve His purpose in the world.
So you don't know your purpose. You're just like right now you
Okay,
want to just exist.
okay. I started by saying on a personal level, me, my purpose
Yeah. Yeah.
to be happy is to be happy.
Okay.
But I also believe that God has a greater purpose of my existence. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
God didn't just create me so that I can come into this world and marry and have children you know, and be a great financial advisor or analyst. I believe there is something far more, far greater or far more beyond than marriage and my career. But so far, all I want is just to be happy on a personal level. But I know God does something greater for me.
And are you happy right now?
Currently, I'm very happy. I can say that I'm one of the most happiest and contented person on the earth. As you can look, ni smile
What
too, just, but I'm very happy
what makes you happy?
because I believe that I have everything that I need currently right now. And And I believe that in some ways, I'm helping others people to be great in their own way.
Okay, what is this everything that you have?
Everything. Have a great
Yeah.
family, have a, a bright career.
Yeah.
Then I'm hoping for the best in the years to come. Have a great friends. And so far, just for example, through this podcast, I'm helping others people to be better. So yeah, those are some of the things that I feel that I have that are making me happy.
So your happiness is conditional.
What do you mean by saying conditional?
If we remove
Eh,
all these things, you're not happy anymore.
Just, yeah, you
Now,
know,
if you
yeah,
remove all those things now, it will be like you are trying to cut me from existence. Because I as a person I can't survive in a vacuum. I won't exist in a vacuum. For me to
will
exist,
exist.
for me to exist, I need other people. You know, for me to
I can
exist,
tell it. Almost
I
let
need like
me assist you.
Yeah.
assist me, please.
I think, sorry for cutting you, but I think you can, in fact, for you to know yourself better, you need to be thrown in prison. You'll realize a lot.
Yeah.
Right now, you are just lying to yourself because you have not even achieved even a half of what you can achieve. You see, that vacuum now, maybe if you are thrown in prison, you'll realize a lot. Maybe some of us will not come to see you. You see,
Okay,
you might actually witness growth that you have never seen in your life. When you
yeah.
just try, you can actually exist in a vacuum.
As a man, sometimes I believe in solitude where you isolate yourself
Yeah,
a
so
bit.
that you can grow.
But just imagine if there were no those people to isolate yourself from. Now we have people. That's why when you isolate yourself, like for at least 2 days or 3 days, you can think straight, nini, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that solitude really helps me and I even practice it. But now imagine a world where you are born where there are no those people. Now, how will you isolate where will you isolate yourself from? So I believe that the reason why solitude is working is because there are other people who are existing. Just
Yeah.
imagine a scenario where today you wake up and you are the only person on the planet.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
And that's where I was coming to, because I had asked Isaiah initially. I asked you first. You started by answering it. Like, what is the main purpose and goal you're existing? And you've mentioned some of them, including family and your happiness. And I was coming back to Isaiah. Like, what is the main goal and purpose you're existing? And Amos, you have come very well, because my next question was going to be, if you are alone in this world, would you still look for happiness through goals and purpose?
Like for me, if I wake up and find myself, alone in
Yeah.
this planet, like now, happiness will be meaningless because to me, uh, my happiness, you know, I don't know how I can put it, but alone, I can't be happy alone. Yeah, that's what I can just say in short. I can't be happy alone.
Okay. So what about you, Isaiah? What is your main goal and purpose in life that is keeping you in existence? Let me not call it life. What is your main purpose and goal while you exist that is keeping you alive?
And my main purpose, actually, one of my ideologies that keeps me growing, keeps me alive, is actually hoping for a better future, for us, a better tomorrow. That's what we are all building for. Um, for instance, I don't know how I'll put it, but we are just living. To me, I just see as much as we're heading to the ground, my main purpose here is now maybe to ensure those I care for also live a good life. I'm not here to change anything as much like Wangari Maathai, because that she was a politician. For me, I believe that you can be a leader without being a politician. So that's problem solving. I'm just measuring on solving problems and how I can assist people. So far, I'm still cooking some things. I hope to help. You see, I don't want to see people suffer that much. I, my main purpose is to see a world where you can borrow money from maybe an institution or a fintech company, but they should not extort you to an extent that if you don't pay back or if they, I don't like extortion. I'm just trying to solve the problem. Currently what I'm trying to solve is the uh, problem in fintech about high interest rates. That's my purpose now.
Okay. Now, let's say you existed alone in this world. Will the same be, will it be you're not existing as well? You will not have life.
I will still exist. I love life. Now the goals will change. I'll be
Yeah.
alone. I love to see how I'll eat. First of all, how I eat.
Yeah.
Now I will go back to the drawing board. You'll have to start with basic things. You see how we'll eat, clothes, shelter, security. That will be the most important thing. First of all, how did you find yourself alone? That will be the conundrum of the day. Everything will start from there. You see, you'll have to ask yourself questions. But I
Yeah.
don't think that the way I'm finding myself alone in this earth, it's not possible.
And you never know. You never know, because if there is a God, there is nothing impossible. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, Isaiah, is you say you don't like seeing people suffer, being exploited and such. So you want to do God's work. Like, God sees them anyway. So what do you mean? Like,
I
you
think,
want to do God's work?
I think, yeah, we are here to do God's work. By the way, we are already
Yeah.
doing it anyway. If you're
Yeah.
not doing it, I don't know. You're also a demigod. Do you know you when you sigh, I keep you're the you control everything. What does God do? Controls all the resources. We're not trying
Yeah.
to do God's work. Just trying to create a better environment so that we can actually appreciate God. You know, people are suffering. It's hard for them to appreciate that God is there. If you've ever suffered, there's some points people, you just tell yourself, I don't think this good. If this good, why is you can see most slums, like there's here Kibra and Langata is here where rich people live. What do you think those people pray at night? Those that are in Kibra, they have worked like 18 hours and you are given 200. While the other one, he has not even worked. He has just said, everything is going on. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, you see. So I think we are created actually in the image of God. When they tell you are created in something similar to that, that means you are a carbon copy of the same.
Yeah.
There are things this earth is meant for us. That's why we are the epitome of this world. Without us, this earth is nothing. It's useless.
Now,
Everything is meant
yeah.
there for us.
There
Okay.
I will differ. I beg to differ with Isaiah. Without us, I believe this earth can be a very better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Okay.
cows will
Yeah,
start ruling each other.
I know this is out of topic. Yeah, but I just want to say that at some extent, I usually think that human beings have polluted and corrupted the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because of too
some
much knowledge and being like God.
not greedy, you know. Yeah, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I agree with what Isaiah said.
But God
Okay.
already told us to go and multiply.
Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to something else. We started by Amos saying that God has a purpose for everything. So everything that is running in the world currently is controlled by God. And most people believe in this. So there is a purpose for even that mad person. There is a purpose for that person in a coma. There is a purpose for that sick kid. Most people question God because of people suffering. But suffering is part of life. Isaiah has mentioned that there's someone in the slums somewhere earning 200 per day, 200 Kenyan shillings after working
It's
12
barely
or more
le-
hours.
le- less than 2 USD.
Yeah. So, eh, yeah, there's that person. But does it mean this person is suffering? Is it
Yeah, yeah.
because God allowed it? You get me do you get my point? Is it God who has allowed it? Or is it human beings who have placed value on non-important things? We have, as humans, like Amos has said, I think we have made our lives so difficult, our existence, because we have made everything have a price. Like you pay a price for everything. And even the free things, people are even buying oxygen. But I don't believe that the source of sadness is lack of resources. And I don't believe that if you lose everything is when you know there is a God, because that is what somehow Isaiah you are purporting. Those people who don't believe in God because they have nothing, it means their love for God is conditional. You get what I mean? And now the biggest question is, why do you think we are still existing? Or Isaiah, do you have something to say about what I just said?
I actually have.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that those people that don't have actually don't are not grateful to God. In fact, in Kenya, let me just use examples that are within our country. In Kenya, we find that many people who are in the slums, those are the people who go to church, as compared to any other group, any income group in Kenya. We find
Yeah.
that they are the ones going to church. So it's not about that. Now, and secondly, there is no way. There are some people who might actually everything that you go on through life. It depends on how you see this world. There are some people. There are few people. There are few people who can enjoy actually liking. Very few, because when I was doing my final year research paper, I was actually trying to research on water problems, water provision in urban informal areas. And my case study area happened to be Mabatini, which is now in one of the slums in Madare. It's a very,
Yeah.
when you visit there, that's when you'll know that there's no way a person can enjoy life in suffering. It's because
Yeah.
you'll never enjoy life in suffering. Because I was, when I went to the chief now to collect my key informant, actually there was a person there who was unable to pay rent, 500 Kenya shillings. The guy could not afford it. He actually said that there is no way. This was his argument. He said that there is no way he's going to pay rent, and he has only there is no way he's going to pay rent and sleep hungry. You see.
Yeah.
And now in Mabatini, when it rains, in Mabatini, mind you, is now beside now Madare River. When it rains, the area floods. You see? So when it rains like now, right now, like when it's raining in Nairobi, people there are already in panic. Where will you go to sleep? Your bed is already in floods. You see, now I don't think there's anybody who can actually be contented in suffering. Maybe if they are just manipulated with something, but actually for a human being to just live, that's why they call it basic things. And there's also now the sustainable development goals to actually eradicate things like poverty. If it were possible that people are enjoying themselves in poverty, I don't think anybody would have cared to even hate them.
But this is a social construction anyway.
And that's why we are human beings. We have created them. And that's why I'm telling you, God actually put us here to be to do that. That's why when you read the Bible, it tells you we are created in the image of God. What do you know God of? When we start in Genesis, God is a creator. Human
Yeah.
beings, we have been here, we are creating things, and we actually we are not satisfied. It's a thing going on. We actually even solving problems that are no longer problems, but it's what a human being is. Without growth, there is no life.
Yeah. All right. Your arguments are quite wide based on societal attachments. But if you negate all these things, do you mean there is no life? If you negate all the material things, all these, you are chasing to have a good house, a shelter. If you negate all these things, does it mean animals don't have life?
Animals don't have life. They are serving us. They have life. They are alive. That's why when we are saying, I think even Amos said this. There are some people who are just living. So even you see, like for a cow it's not alive. It's alive because it's food. At some point, it cannot decide that tomorrow it will be alive if I want to eat it today. Like for instance, I always have potted plants. This plant here. You see,
Yeah.
this you want to tell me when I decide tomorrow it will not be alive, will it live? It cannot live.
If you
I'm
put it,
controlling.
if you put it in
No.
nature where God intends it to be, it will live.
And, now I want you to get my point.
Yeah.
I got this plant. It's actually a jade plant. Some people call it a lucky plant, money plant. It has many names.
Yeah.
See, when I got it, it was not actually doing well. That's why I'm telling you, environment matters. Whatever what's your purpose matters. Whatever the food you eat matters. That's what will contribute to you living beyond maybe what you think.
But my argument is if you put that plant where it's supposed to be, it doesn't need you to live.
It's supposed to be here right now to serve me.
I think
And that is why I said it's a social construction. What are you saying, Amos?
No.
It's not a social construction. Isaiah is right, but what you are
Yeah.
trying to what I've just realized now is that
Yeah.
to live you must have conscious.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's right. Plants and animal, you can't say that they are alive.
they are
because
alive. How?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Okay.
Is God crazy?
No. I know God is one
God-
of the
God created all these things
yeah.
and gave them
what
life. Yeah. Yeah.
That to live what we are now, using in this nini, like to live, you must have conscious, But
Yeah.
plants don't have conscious. Like
They
can't
are not
decide.
aware.
Yeah, they are not aware.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
to some extent, you can't say that they are alive. They just
Okay.
exist, but they are not alive. The same to a cow.
Yeah.
Yes, like they just exist, but they don't have conscious. And it's just funny how I've just realized now that.
And let me ask you, Amos,
Yes.
That's why they can't fight back.
what makes you think the cow doesn't have conscience? And what makes you think the animal doesn't have conscience? Is it because you just think it doesn't have?
No. It's not because I. Okay.
Have you
Answer your
studied an
question.
animal brain? Because dogs have conscience. So are dogs
To-
alive and cows not alive?
To answer your question, I will ask you a question. What is consciousness?
Conscience is knowing this is wrong, this is not wrong. That's
Do
conscience.
plants know this is wrong and this is not wrong? Like for instance, cactus tree.
Leave alone
just,
plants. Leave alone
yes,
plants. And I don't know. I never know.
Okay.
You see?
Okay.
Because
let's use
I've never been a plant anyway, and I don't know the structure of plants.
Let's use an example of a cow.
Yeah.
Does a cow have distinguish between right and wrong?
Some
Who
know.
knows? Who knows?
Huh?
And who knows?
Yeah,
Because there are sometimes even a snake
with
comes
the proper
across
training, they can.
a snake comes across a baby and it does not bite the baby. Sometimes you find a lion has met a baby gazelle and it does not eat the gazelle.
But okay, I
So
can agree with you, but those are
who told
rare.
you? Who told you that
Some
animals don't have
instances,
conscience?
not all. Some instances, not all
Yeah,
instances.
Yeah,
but now
okay, maybe
you can think you are
according.
you are the only one who has conscience, but also animals are questioning your conscience.
But actually, Gaida, let me just uh, try to dispense here some things. I think they don't have a. If they would have had some knowledge, I think lions would have killed us already.
They
Why
They
could
don't
don't
have.
have
they
a
assemble?
chance. They don't
They
have a
don't have.
chance.
They could have written books.
I don't know. There is this movie that I recently watched where robots all of a sudden gained consciousness and stand against humans. I don't know how it is called,
Robots are
but yeah,
just
I've also seen
computers.
that.
Robots are just computers, first of all. They are human
yeah. So
construction.
yeah, these are science fiction where
Yeah.
in the future, like there is, this mass production of robots and people are depending on robots. People are depending on robots on their daily activities. But now, all of a sudden, these robots now gain consciousness and they are able to resist and have plans now for themselves. And they now want to work for themselves rather than working for humans. And this made me, it got me thinking like, for instance, if cows, let's say today we just wake up and the cows have conscious, like, what do you think will happen? Do you think they will continue to be docile and let us milk them and use them for, for our fulfillment and joy? Like consciousness is, it's
Do
not
you
only
think you're
about,
milking? Do you think when you're milking the cow, it has
Mm.
given you the consent?
yeah.
Like, do you think the cow enjoys living with you?
Okay.
That's-
When growing up, I was very, blessed to live in some part of my life with my grandmother. Yeah, and she had several cows. So there were some instances where the same cow, let's say the same cow in the evening, you could milk something like around 7 liters. But in other instances, when uh, something bad has happened, let me tell you, it was even hard even to get 2 liters.
That means it
Like,
has conscience.
okay, what I'm trying to
It
say
means
is that
it recognized that you did something wrong.
something wrong or right now.
Yeah, it realizes you have said that sometimes you'll get 7 liters, sometimes
Yeah,
nothing. So it
sometimes you
means
get
it's
2
not
liters.
releasing the milk because, or it just wants to feed its cow. Sometimes I've also been in a place where cows are being reared. Let me say in my own home. And when you get the cow angry, it kicks the bucket and kicks all the whole milk down. So what do you mean it doesn't have conscience? Even a dog, once you don't feed it, gets angry, or once you can it, it wants to bite you back. So why do you say it doesn't have feelings, it doesn't have a conscience?
What I was trying to say is just there is this element of flight and fright. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when now you meet a lion, you will
Yeah.
either like your instinct will tell you to either fight back or run. Run.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I was coming is that most of these animals don't have conscience. Like mostly they depend on your flight or fight. So in some instances, when you, let's say you are in a closed place with a cat and you are trying to kill it. So if it finds an opening, it might run out. But now when all places are closed and there is no escape route, let me tell you, it will try to fight you back. Does that mean
So
that it has
you're just contradicting yourself almost, because that means they have conscience. They know
No,
what's
no.
happening.
I don't think
You know,
they
conscience is
fly
when you
or
know
fight
what is happening
mechanism.
around and you are judging by, is it wrong or good, or is it bad or good?
That's not consciousness. That is a defensive mechanism.
It's consciousness, because
Mhm.
consciousness is when you really know this thing is good to do or is bad. And see, it's knowing your surrounding as well. So if you are not conscious, you won't know you are doing something bad. You'll be killing someone and you don't know this is wrong. And you are saying a very good point, because
That is
my own
true.
argument
But
is my own argument of existence is being conscious. And consciousness is not bodily. I cannot chase goals and say now I'm alive. My conscience is my life. I believe my soul is my life. When I have a good soul,
Yeah,
I'm alive.
that's
So
that's true.
if even if I lack everything, I have the last cent and I help someone, my conscience is working. And I believe that is life. Even if it's not about this last cent, maybe I have the last cup of my porridge or cup of flour and I offer it to someone, or I have my last piece of cloth and I'm homeless and I offer it to someone who is also homeless but is feeling cold. That's when I believe that is life now, according to me.
Yeah,
I don't attach it to other things like goals, purpose. I don't believe I don't believe those. I think life is instant, instant. All the little moments. I think that is life, according to me.
again, can I ask you something like when you have that, for instance, you have that last piece of bread and you
Yeah,
are helping you are homeless and you are helping another homeless person. What
yeah.
makes you do that?
Conscience.
So, according to
yeah,
you, like you have said that life is instant,
Yeah, instant.
you don't have
Bit by bit.
you don't purpose or goal. But to me, it's like you are trying to also contradict yourself because the moment that you are seeing you are other homeless person hungry and you are trying to help him or her.
Yeah.
Yeah, like is that not a goal? Like what you are trying to
No.
do?
You see,
What's the
it's not.
it's instant and it's bit by bit. My purpose and goal was not going around to help everyone.
so you
It's
don't
by
believe in
instant.
you
It's
don't
by
believe in
instant.
a you don't believe in a long-term goal where you have a plan. Let's say a career plan where you say you want to graduate by 20, get your first job
No, no,
by
no, 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 no. That according
get
to me
get
is the structural way of life. The structural way of existence. How it's
so
structured. But I don't think God intended you for that for you.
so
God did
like
not
right
bless
now
you. Yeah.
like right now your life does not have any specific direction.
My life, of course, has a direction, because I told you I exist
Now that
because of my soul. Okay.
Now
I'm placed
when you are
here.
looking at
And
direction that
it's good you said about, you said
sense
that
of
there is
direction.
God. Yeah, there is God who placed you here. So my existence is not based on my own thinking that I must take this direction to do this and this. No. I think God will bless me to be in a position to do this and this. And all these other things, I don't believe they make me alive. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, like in material thing, you don't believe in material, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm getting you.
Yeah. And let's say right now I find a young child maybe hanging from a cliff or something. I will be pushed to save this child. Okay. But that doesn't mean I've saved the child from the misery, of course, because it's just the body of this child that will die anyway. But you don't know God's will and wish. If I save that kid, it means God has made me save this kid. Okay. And this kid still has a role to play. And that is why I was coming to another question for you guys. Like, why are we still existing if you really know the answer? Why
Oh,
has the world not ended?
okay. For me, okay. First, I want to remind you of what Isha said at the
Yes.
beginning when you asked him about the definition of purpose or goal. He said that purpose is like light. It's what guides you. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And now,
Yeah.
just to note on your point that you have said earlier, I believe that we started this podcast for a reason, right? Like we had something, like we are trying to achieve something. You might not term it as a goal or a purpose, but to me, I see it as a purpose. Now, to come back to your question, where you have said that why are we existing? I think we are existing because God has let us to exist. That can be my main answer for your question. Like we are still alive because God has allowed it. Otherwise, if God decides now that he wants to end us, he can definitely do that.
Okay. And I accept that because that was your argument. You said life is based on God's will. What about you, Isaiah? Why do you think it still exists? Why has the world not ended?
I think the world cannot end. It simply cannot end.
Why do you think so?
I think, everything you believe in right now, somehow, it's what you have been shaped to believe in. And like Gaida said, it's the matrix or the system. So if they told you the world will end by 2050, you would have believed it because you are born. You don't know how you are born. Even up to now, we believe the creation story. There are those who believe the evolution story. So to me, there is more to life than we can even imagine. There is a superior being, that being God, but I don't think that they gave us all the information we needed to know about this earth. Some things are for you to find out actually. It might even make life more enjoyable. I think the world will not end. It ends when you die. That's why, to me, the ultimate goal of life is death, because as much they are spirits, there's no single person who died and came back and told us what happened there.
So, Isaiah, you said that the definition of life is having purpose and a goal. So when you die without completing your purpose and goal, you did not live.
Actually, and that's why you say they can. It's it is a good say. It's a good saying. It's a saying that is always there. That they tell you in the grave, the greatest library is at the graveside. That's where unfulfilled potential, best-selling books, best ideas, they are still there. So
But we keep talking about books, careers. Who taught the first teacher? Who taught the first doctor and who taught the first physician?
I think it's curiosity. As a human being, even if they erase everything right now, we'll just find ways to survive. Those
So
will
why do
be
you need
born.
why do you need that? Why do you need that career? Anyway,
We need correct.
curiosity
Anyway,
can help.
there's a time people used bows to survive. Right? By then, everybody wanted to be a warrior. There's a time people used to say, that's why you saw Vasco da Gama sailed in 1498, sailed. There's a time things changed. It was industrialization. It's changed. Right now, people believe it's digital. They change. We do things it's about survival. Survival is vital for I think any organism. You can see even in the animal kingdom, its ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. It's always the strongest to survive. How will you survive without work right now? You have to advance your career. That's why everything now that's now it will become your purpose to have a better life, to provide for your family, as much as people say maybe money is the root of all evil, but try lacking that money. You'll see now how tough your life will become. I think that's my argument.
Okay, but another thing is you have said that you exist, like we still exist and the world will never end, but you will die, and when you die, your world has ended, right?
Yeah, it has ended there and then.
Okay. So it means you believe that the only thing that has brought you here is what you think has brought you here. Because
It's not
goals
what
and
I think.
purpose are what you think brought you here.
As I already shared before, I told you were created in the image of God.
Yes.
What are you if you can't create anything? You see, it does not
How
mean
many?
only.
Let me ask you one question. What do you mean by creating?
Creating, first of all, from the ideas. The people, that's why you see there's creatives. I think now there's even a term people call themselves creatives. It means coming up with an idea. Everything belongs to Mother Earth. Anything you come up with, you might just sit like this and see, hey, this guy has come up with my idea. I thought I was the only one thinking about it. It's because it belongs to this earth. Even if you don't find it, somebody else will find it. Even if you think about it and don't do it, somebody else will do it. That's what I'm telling you. When God created us, He gave us the mandate over earth and told us go and multiply. In that, we are the epitome of this. We are to use everything in earth. And I don't think at any point the earth will satanic coordinate. It will not. There is no end of the world. I think that's just a fantasy people tell themselves. But with time, even if you live how many years, I don't think this earth will ever. Because it replenishes itself.
So when God put people in this earth, is it like a curse? You believe in God, first of all.
Yes, I believe in God. But
So
some things I don't.
God's promises in Revelation are not true.
Are they actually promises?
Yeah, everything that He writes is a promise and it's a reality.
Those are people who wrote inspired by God, isn't it?
Yeah.
So actually, God can write without being here. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
I also believe that too. Let me share one from one story now from maybe. One of the hardest books in the Bible is Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you understand now without God's inspiration? How does a person now how do you interpret that without, there's no interpretation of the Bible. There's no manual. Everybody interprets it as they wish.
No. If you have
Because
read,
let me share this.
if you have read the gospel, you will learn that Jesus said it is in parables because those who do not really know Christ will not understand it. But if you really know God, you will understand everything. And one of the promises is eternity. And eternity means there is no more dying, there is no more suffering. It's all about paradise and everything. So you don't believe in this. Like there's no perfection. Never.
For me, there are stories. Those are oral folks. They are there. I can believe. I used to believe them. I actually read all the books that I have actually said right now. But let me just share one thing, not from the Bible. I don't
Yes.
actually like challenging other people's religion, not from the Bible.
Yes.
When the colonialists came, what we read in history, they said Arab Samoe, who he saw a
Snake.
actually I agree with a snake, a metal snake.
Yeah.
And told the people it's a bad thing. I mean, there's a bad thing coming to happen.
Yeah.
Do you actually think Samoe dreamt about that thing, or maybe saw it in Uganda and then came to report? Do you think he dreamt about that snake?
We never know because we are not him.
Yeah. Whatever is in the Bible, you find most stories recur. That means at that point, there are some people who are writing stories that were happening at that time. If you just read history well, there are some things you can even predict they'll happen. Like people who have read
who have taken political science as a career, there are some things in politics they can predict and they will happen. Initially, Pastor Ezekiel in Kenya here predicted that Ruto will not have a peaceful reign, and it's happening. Was it hard for him to predict? Even me, I saw the same. So I don't think it's anything. Those are just stories of that during that time. They recorded stories of during that time. Like
So
you
the
can see
Bible is
LGBTQ
the Bible is not.
the Bible. The stories for Israelites. How can you explain when did Noah get to everybody in the ark?
Yeah. So
I'm
how
not
do you
dispensing
know-
anything.
Anyway, how are you a Christian if the Bible is a lie, or you are not a Christian?
I'm telling you, for me, everything I believe in, things have happened in my life. I believe there is God.
So you are not a
Cannot,
Christian.
I don't think I'm a Christian.
It's not you don't
I-
think. You must say. You must know what you are.
No, for me, I know the religion was there to shape. How can you say that now you are Christians and there are already 1,000 churches? What are they dispensing now? Why don't you
No,
just use the same Bible and have the same denomination?
God, to some extent,
It's not about. I believe in God, but it's not a must for me to be a Christian.
Okay.
But I can
That's
use the
fair
Bible.
enough.
But I can use the Bible.
Yeah, that's fair
Yeah.
enough. But I don't believe. Oh, yes, Amos, please.
To some extent, I believe, I concur with Isaiah on what he is saying, because I think currently different interpretation of the Bible is what has led us to this different denomination in the Christian religion. Because there are some churches that believe in life after death. There are those that they don't believe. There are some churches that believe in the Holy Trinity.
The Sabbath. What about the
Don't-
Sabbath? There are some say Sunday, some
No.
Saturday.
Believe in the Sabbath day being on the Sunday, others on the Saturday. So I think that the interpretation of the Bible, it's very, if not unique, it's something that different people have their different interpretation. And as you have said earlier, Revelation is one of the hardest book. I think that what you can understand from Revelation is not the same as what Isaiah or me. We can read the same verse, but we can come up with different understanding.
Okay. Okay. You.
It
Amos,
does not
you're-
mean that we are
Let's go back to what you're saying before you lose it. You are a Christian, right?
me.
Yes.
As I started, I said that I have this personal relationship with the God that does not involve the church.
Okay.
As-
How did you get this personal relationship with God? Where did you hear from it? How did you start it? And what guidelines? How did you get your own guidelines?
To be straight with you, me and my
Yeah.
and has inspired me, or what has taught me a lot about God is the Bible. Yeah.
Okay. So
But I believe
when in the Gospels, when Jesus promises eternal life in paradise, is it a lie?
no, me as a Christian, I do believe in eternal life, live in life after death.
Okay.
that
And
is
this
what-
eternal life, this eternal life, okay, after death, you believe there is life after the bodily death. There is another dimension you go to, right?
The spiritual one.
Okay. And this spiritual dimension is the afterlife, is the eternal life now.
Yeah, that's what I believe. That's what I've understood after reading the Bible, and that is what most of my religious leaders has taught me.
And you believe the world will end.
I don't believe that the end of the world is a point where maybe the world will explode okay. To me, the end of the world is when someone's died. That
Okay,
will
so
be
these stories about
your
the
world.
angel of these stories about the angel of death, the apocalypse, is it a lie? The
Get me-
the the second coming of Christ? Is it a lie?
Now I was coming to that. I believe that
Yes.
there will be a second coming of Jesus Christ. But to me, that is when someone's died. I believe that there is, like the world ends in step, not spontaneous at once, in step. Isaiah died, that will be the end of his world. I die, that will be the end of my world. You die, like when I die, now that is when Jesus Christ has come to take me. That's what I believe.
So right now, when we say you are Amos, are you really Amos? Like, you believe when you say you are Amos, you are Amos? Or is
Pardon?
it just a name? Like, who are you? Is your body you?
Actually, Amos is just a name. I'm not Amos. In fact, most people call me Rastaman. So, like, Amos is just like a pronoun,
Yeah, who are
like,
you? Who are you?
Me.
Is it your
I am
body?
me. I am me. I'm not Amos. Amos is just a pronoun that you people might find it easier to refer to me. But
And that is very good what you're saying, because that directs you back to your belief. Because you see, when Moses went and met the bush, the burning bush, a voice came and said, "Go tell them I am whom I am." So that is a very big definition, because God created you in his own image. His own image is not how you appear. Why do we not look the same? Our skins are not the same, our faces. It means that it's about your soul. It's about your spirit. So how your spirit goes is what will align to God. And the consciousness that you're talking about, even the worst person who call themselves psychopaths, they have that conscience. Let no one lie to you that they don't have conscience.
Humans have consciousness. That's what it sets us as animals.
No. I told you initially that you cannot say animals don't have conscience. You don't know.
What distinguishes us from animals and trees and plants, and like what sets us aside? Or are you trying to say like
is that like ability with God? Is that like ability with God? Like when God said, "I'm now creating new people who will look like me and be like me." That is the difference between us and animals.
Okay, apart from us being created in the image and likeness of God, what is the other aspect that sets us aside from God? From animals and trees?
It's just nothing else. Nothing else, because appearance.
Like you clearly believe
There's no way a cow can become like me.
Just appearance. It's just appearance and the likeness with God. Like you, the way you think like God. The way you have a soul, it's like God. Okay? But
have you seen a baboon?
Yeah.
Or a chimpanzee?
Yeah.
Like there is a distinction between us and chimpanzee. Even the
there's a very big distinction.
Wait. Even the scientists refer to us as our cousins. Like, apart from the far, like physically, we are almost, even the DNA part, we are almost.
Yeah, the genetic part is almost, and with not just with chimpanzees. You see, all animals genetically, they are related. All animals in the world genetically. That is why a cow has the same structures like you do. The heart works the same as yours. You see? The legs, they move. The locomotive structure is just like yours.
Now, that is the biological part. I was saying the genetic. Like there is, greater resemblance between humans and chimpanzee. Right?
No, I don't agree with you.
Like, according, I know there is some difference.
For me, I think chimpanzees are just assuming they don't want to wear clothes so that they cannot pay tax. But those things are actually brilliant.
They can
So
never
what?
be. They can never look like us.
Like my
They
point
look
before
like
you,
us.
my point before you cut me short is that like those people, like as much as we look alike, but there is some aspect of consciousness that those people lack. Or we can say that our human consciousness is more advanced than if we can say that even cactus. Hey, the cactus have consciousness. Hey,
No, not cactus.
I
Cactus is
can
a
say-
plant.
think that is like that the only things have consciousness. Now I'm trying to wonder. Is
No,
that
no.
chicken?
I told you, I did not say they do, but I gave you examples of animals that
The
might have
structure.
Okay,
Then,
that
and I also
that's
told
why
you, Amos,
that's
I
why
also
I'm
told
saying
you, I also challenged you and asked you, who told you animals don't have conscience? Have you ever been an animal?
Amos
I
is an
haven't.
animal. You started by being an animal before you became a human being. How can you argue
Okay,
about that?
that is according to biology and evolution theory. But
Not according to biology. At some point, you
eh,
are not using your brain while growing up.
So if
How do we
you're not
equate
using
that?
your brain, you are an animal.
Yes, you
So
are an
animals
animal.
don't have brains. You know, Isaiah, you mean a cow
maybe I'm
supposed to eat. It doesn't have a brain that it's full.
It knows it's
that.
food, but cow can cross the road when it clearly says there's a trailer coming. Can a human do
Rarely,
the same?
rarely. Because cows also know when nothing is dangerous. They don't
They
just,
don't know.
they know.
Yeah,
Right now, I'm telling you, they don't know.
Why don't cows walk straight into a lion's den? They know.
They are not
God.
the same in the same area with a
Okay.
lion. Or they
What,
would have
what
walked
I,
there while eating grass.
God,
No,
what I can
very, very then. Yes, yes.
this argument by saying that um, not all trees or animals have consciousness. But okay. But if there are those that have consciousness, human
Right.
consciousness is more advanced compared to them.
That's
That's what I
why.
can.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I told you the only thing that separates you from these animals is because you are created in the image of God. You're special.
Rationality.
Yeah, you're very special. If God decided cows will be the chosen ones, who are we to dispute that?
They lead us.
Yeah, they will decide. So that
So
is
you
my
mean
thinking.
cows
And
will now
Isaiah,
shame
Isaiah initially asked, why have the lions not eaten all of us? It's because they don't have that opportunity to.
They
Let's
cannot
present
order themselves.
ourselves. Let's present ourselves in a fair fight with the lions and see.
We will win.
You cannot.
You win.
You cannot.
We will win.
Maybe you
And
will,
there is
but
even an example in the Bible.
fair
where
fight.
Samson
You,
did
you,
what?
you get what I mean? Fair fight.
Yes, we will win.
You cannot.
We will
Ask
win,
me,
I'm
you
telling
cannot. One lion can give.
Why do you think it will be a fair fight? But yes, fair fight because we will have to use our brains. We cannot go to actually, we don't have claws. If it's fair, they have to remove claws from lions.
How long will you?
Because we
No,
don't
no,
have
no, no.
claws.
Fair fight is that don't use any other tool. Use what God
What
gave.
is the greatest advantage a human being has of an animal is the brain. Your ability to use your brain. They cannot negate the brain from you and you go to a fight. Now that you're just like a chicken.
Now what I'm saying is, yes, you have a brain. Negate all the.
I
all
learned
the-
to
all
carry
the
a stone.
Negate all those. Negate a stone. Negate using sticks. Use your brain and fight it.
Now that's where the stone comes in.
We can join up. Let's say 10 men. Then we spot a one lion and we do our best.
It
It's
will-
very, very,
it will
very
terrify
run
them.
away. Because if you are using your brain, some of them will take flight anyway.
You'll just know what is upon you.
But
if
and
that-
even if you are taking a stone, you think everyone will take a stone?
Some will come with sticks.
They will run away, my friend. You'll be scattered. You'll be running away, each of you. Anyway,
For me, I know if I hit a lion in the eyes, it will no longer see. Does the lion know that?
but if you injure the eye and it has its claws on you,
I'll go up
Then
a
what?
tree now.
Then
I'll
what?
climb a tree.
Yeah,
How many ways to fight?
it already has its claws on you. Where do you go?
We are some people, and people are many than lions, either way.
And that's not a fair fight.
Life is not fair. Life has never been fair. And it will never. It will never. We have an advantage over them. Or Ramo, what do you see? But for me, in terms of religion, I see religion as politics. Kama tu gava. It's there to control people. Without it,
That's why, in Christianity, we have different denomination with different beliefs. I think,
how can you say that
religion,
there is
religion just
religion
came to us.
especially in Africa? What has religion done to us? It's actually doing more harm than good.
Exactly. There is little that religion has done compared to the. In fact, what you said earlier is very true. There is, Tuesday I was working in a certain place where I found that within just the same estates, like there was more than 15 churches that I count, more than 15 churches. Then I started wondering if like God is there is one God and the Bible is the same. Why can't you just combine all these churches and make one great church with the same belief? I just think that religion came to confuse us.
But I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Before civilization, in colonization, religion actually used to be taught by it was only the Pharisees and scribes who went to school to learn about religion and the Bible. Whatever came to us, are we sure that it's the right verse? And how can you live your life basing your life on somebody else's ancestors? Is that right? Yes.
What even makes me wonder is that those people who introduced religion to Africans, they are no longer practicing it. What if now somehow they discover that religion is not what they thought and now they have abandoned it, and we, the Africans, now we are still clinging on it, thinking that maybe religion might be helpful, but it's not.
Religion was there just to control human beings. I'm saying because in Odiru, I think you know Odiru. There's an acre you can go check even. There's an acre that has almost 100 churches. Now, why should you have 100 churches in an acre in a slum? And yet you just you want to go there worship the same God. And I think when you read the Bible keenly, there is at some point kuna huyu jamaa anaitwaje David na Solomon si alichukua time most sana kujenga hekalu la Mungu. Yani nini keja yake akasahau kujenga Mungu palace. How comes all of a sudden now I'm about to structure, you can go in and start praying to God?
So
These things of religion, people should not take it personal. They should not force it on everybody.
I think we also need another session to just discuss that topic. So just to conclude, what is your parting shots on today's video?
My parting shots. Let me tell you one thing. My parting shot, it's just I want to evoke a thought in you. It's a conversation. It's not that what I say goes and what you say goes, isn't it? It's not that you are formulating laws here. Come to think of it. Life, for me, I stand by my word. The ultimate goal of life is death. Because there is no way a person died with their idea and actually you can get the idea from them. Isn't it? After they have just died, they have not written anywhere, they have just died. Can you get the idea from them?
No, you can't.
So for me, I just think after dying, the life has ended for that
individual, that certain individual. And maybe there is life after death, which it's not documented anywhere. We are just saying that, hey, maybe the spiritual world, for like us, the gene stories, what, blah, blah, blah. But it's only some specific people who have seen it. So we cannot actually base our everything depending on one thing that maybe some people saw, and some are yet to see.
Yeah. So also me to some extent, I agree with you that life is the ultimate God, like death is the ultimate goal of life. But also I can add up and say that although although death is not the ultimate goal of life, to some extent, like not dying before completing or achieving your purpose and goals, to some extent, like for achieving your purpose and goals, I can term it as, maybe I can see it, I can say one might not have actually lived fully.
Yeah, that's
Like, I know, like, death is the, everyone in this world, in one way or the other, they will die. Yeah. So at least before you die, try to achieve your goals and your purpose in this life. So thank you, Isaiah, for having your time. I can say it has been really very insightful. Yeah, and I've really learned a lot from this episode. So see you in the next episode, and thank you for your time again.
Thank you. See you when you see me.